worldwide coronavirus death toll has exceeded 33,000 and two-thirds of the deaths are in Europe alone. Out of the more than 721,000 infected people, more than 151,000 have recovered from the disease so far. Good morning, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha and these are the headlines of the hour. Nationwide lockdown to be extended by a week. International flights suspended until 7th of April. High-level committee calls for action against quarantine violators. Equipment necessary for COVID-19 tests arrive in the capital. Available resources and materials remain unused due to the lack of coordination between government authorities. U.S. President Donald Trump says coronavirus restrictions such as social distancing will be extended across the U.S. until at least 30th of April. And Manchester City midfielder Ilkay Gundogan says it would only be fair to award Liverpool the English Premier League title if the season is not completed due to coronavirus. The government has extended the nationwide lockdown by another 8 days until midnight of 7th of April. According to government spokesman Yuvraj Khattiwada, the cabinet meeting held at the Prime Minister's official residence in Balwatar yesterday evening took such a decision. The high-level committee formed to contain the possible outbreak of coronavirus in the country had earlier recommended the government to extend the current nationwide lockdown by 8 days in view of the rise in number of COVID-19 cases in the country. According to the period of lockdown fixed by the committee earlier, the week-long lockdown that started on 24th of March would have ended tomorrow morning at 6. Likewise, the government decided to give 25% rebate in electricity usage to customers consuming up to 150 units of electricity. The government also announced insurance worth 2.5 million rupees till mid-July for medical teams and security personnel who are deployed in containing the COVID-19 outbreak. The government also decided to put restriction on importing vehicles worth above 6 million rupees and reduced the amount of gold import from 20 kilograms to 10 kilograms. Meanwhile, the government has decided to reduce the price of rice, flour, lentils, oil and sugar, among other edible items, by 10% if they are bought from Salt Trading and Food Management and Trading Company. The cabinet also urged private schools not to charge fees of the last month of the academic calendar and also requested house owners not to collect rent of the lockdown period from their tenants. The government yesterday decided to extend the ban on all international flights. The high-level committee formed to contain the possible outbreak of coronavirus in the country decided to extend the ban on all international passenger flights until 15th of April. The international flights have been suspended since 22nd of March. The high-level committee also decided to allow the Nepalese nationals stranded at the Nepal-India borders to enter the country on the basis of identification documents. After entering Nepal, they will be required to stay in quarantine. The committee also decided to take action against individuals refusing to be in quarantine as per the existing Infectious Disease Control Act 2020. The committee also decided to provide 1,000 units of personal protection equipment or PPE in all the 7 provinces and provide instruments required to test the novel coronavirus in 4 provinces. Likewise, the high-level committee decided to seek help from security bodies to solve the problems seen in the supply of essential items during the lockdown. The government brought medical equipments worth 1 billion rupees from China yesterday to contain the possible outbreak of coronavirus. The government of China also extended assistance to Nepal by providing essential gears in a bid to combat the spread of COVID-19. We have a report.
The medical equipment purchased by the government include personal protective equipment PPE, kits to test the coronavirus infection, N95 masks and thermal guns to measure body temperature, among others. The materials have been supplied through the contractor company Omni International. The government is preparing to supply the materials to all the central, provincial and private hospitals. Likewise, Sichuan Province Government, Sichuan Provincial Investment Group, Jack Ma Foundation and Alibaba Foundation have sent more than 100,000 pieces of N95 masks and over 20,000 kits to test novel coronavirus, among others from China. Chinese ambassador to Nepal, Ho Yanqi, handed over the kit to the Ministry of Health.
Actually, the central government is now preparing the donations. It is under the procedure. The first batch are from the local government, the most close province, Sichuan province, and also from the Chinese embassy, and also a big company from the Sichuan Provincial Investment Group.
Citing that the Chinese government had not forgotten the assistance provided by Nepal during the coronavirus outbreak in Wuhan, the Chinese ambassador said that it's now the turn of the government of China to lend its support to Nepal. She said that China has already moved forward the process to help Nepal contain the possible COVID-19 outbreak in the country.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Health has warned of legal action against hospitals refusing to attend to patients. Amid the threat of the novel coronavirus outbreak in the country, many private and even government hospitals have recently been returning patients, citing the lack of personal protective equipment, among other necessary items. The ministry has warned of punishment to hospitals and doctors shying away from their responsibilities at a time when the country has been going through a major health vulnerability induced by the global COVID-19 pandemic. The capital's 6 different hospitals, including Bir Hospital, Tribhuvan University Teaching Hospital, and Kathmandu Medical College, among others, had refused to admit patients with respiratory problems who were brought by ambulances from Dhading earlier this Saturday. The patients are currently undergoing treatment at the capital's Armed Police Force Hospital. The Ministry of Health has also warned all the government, community and private hospitals not to return patients with flu and fever without checkup. According to the ministry, nobody was tested positive for COVID-19 yesterday. Altogether, 917 samples have been tested at the National Public Health Laboratory in Teku as of yet. Welcome back. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And here's the question. What action should be taken against hospitals and doctors refusing to treat patients? Your options are A, make them aware, B, cancel their license, and C, file case under criminal charges. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And it's time now for our special segment, Off the Beat.
Although it is extremely crucial to abide by the quarantine measures to contain the possible outbreak of novel coronavirus in the country, there have been instances of people flouting the provision. For instance, 1,000 Nepali nationals had returned from India to Darilthura in Sudur Paschim province earlier this month. These individuals were working at various Indian cities that have recorded several cases of coronavirus so far. Considering the risk they pose to the locals in the region, the local government had urged them to remain in quarantine. However, they flouted the government's directive. The local government of Darilthura had established 50 quarantine zones with support from the locals. However, these quarantine zones are almost empty, as the homecoming Nepali nationals have still been refusing to comply with the quarantine measures. Few individuals stayed in quarantine for a single day and returned home defying the government's directive. This is not only a blatant disregard towards the government's attempt to fight the risk of coronavirus outbreak in the country, but also towards the health and life of the public at large. On the first day of the nationwide lockdown, on 24th of March, the Gauri Fata and Karachoki transits remained tense throughout the day as Nepalese nationals who had arrived from different neighboring Indian cities were barred from entering the country after they forcefully tried to enter the Nepalese territory. The security deployed at the transit resorted to baton charging to take the situation under control. The stranded Nepalese nationals were only allowed to enter the country following the government's decision to open the border later. Meanwhile, in Kantipur, The homecoming Nepalese nationals used various border points to enter Nepal after they were barred from crossing the Gara Chowki transit. They entered Nepal using the open border at Tothara Chandni.
And that's all for the moment. Keep watching Kantipur Television HD for more news and entertainment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day and stay safe.